He's so regal. I mean, you have to understand, what I think I remember most about that period, and I have to say it because it just stunned me. This man has been in prison. He gets out of prison, he comes to America. We're now the California arm of his New York, LA thing. There's a room full of people who want to meet him, and he spots me, and he walks over, and he put his hand on my shoulder, and he said, "Young man, I want you to thank you so much for writing the music and the lyrics that you wrote, because it got me through many days of being in prison."
Heavy.
And I started crying on his shoulder. I mean, he just grabbed me like a dad. I just lost it. I mean, because, you know, you never think in life when you write a song, you actually heard it where? Yeah. You know, and you were sitting in solitary confinement for how long? And you were listening to what?
To be on a black band to play Mandela in this era has got to be something.
The sacrifice, I really connected to the sacrifice. I've been telling people, you know, that when I went to South Africa, what I did immediately is I wrote to the Robben Island and asked if I could stay there. And I persisted, and eventually they said that I could stay in a cell for one night on the wing that Mandela, I couldn't stay in his cell, but I could stay in one of the nights. And it was in that cell all night. It was where I realized this is the sacrifice that he made. You know, after all the activism chants have gone and, you know, the flags have gone, there is this man in this room and his liberty has been taken away.
What did Nelson teach you about forgiveness?
Well, he talked about, because I'm fascinated how he was able to go out of prison, and the first thing to go and have lunch with the widow of the man that put him behind bars for all these years. And as I asked him, I said, how could you do that? And he was just talking about that, how important it is not to think about revenge at that time, but to not think about your own pain that you experienced, but to think about the good of the whole country. And it became very clear to him that in order to heal the country, he had to go and show tolerance and inclusion and forgiveness.
When Mr. Mandela came out, just out of prison, 2 weeks out of prison, to visit the African National Congress in exile.
That's right.
And he walked into that room. There were only about 100 or so of us there, most of them ANC veterans. And he spoke briefly, and there were then some questions from them. And the first one, naturally, from a grizzled veteran of the wars, was critical of the Afrikaans people who'd held Mr. Mandela captive. And he looked at his supporters and he said, "We have to remember how hard this is for them, how hard this is for our captors, for the people who'd kept us down." I've never seen an act of generosity like that, a mentality of generosity again. And, you know, it is the case that sometimes the actions and statements of a person reveal an inner character. That was Nelson Mandela.
What's Mandela's handshake like? Yeah. Right? Serious business.
That was something. Singing turned this world around for him. He inspired it. That was at Ryerson, 2001, November, 2 months after 9/11. It was just, what a moment that was for me.
And the children sing, help our light to shine. May we all be fed, may we all be loved.
He is such a hero for me. You're in captivity 26 years, you come out stronger, and your captors feel like they're the ones held hostage. Now, you got to study at the foot of that guy.